I'm Laura.
And we are
Two Paper Girls. We're back with another Project 2015 video, which is our little series where we talk about book to film adaptations which are being released this year. Last week we put up our Mia and the Dying Girl video where we talked about that film which came out at the start of September. And we're going to apologise again for this late Scorch Trials video because we did see it about 3 weeks ago now, and again we just completely forgot to film it. We didn't forget as badly as we did with Mia and the Dying Girl. We did say, need to film that, but it just never happened. So we're like, right, we should finally talk about this film, especially as we had and have a lot to say about it. So let's just get into it and we'll stop apologising.
We don't really know where to start with this book to movie adaptation. James Dashner, I don't know if he had any role in the filmmaking process. I don't know how he feels about this, but the film was not his book. It was completely different. Although some aspects were spot on, like the cranks were spot on.
Oh, they were so
and
scary.
The setting was spot on, but the plot was just completely different.
Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of the Scorch Trials. Like, I love the Maze Runner and the Death Cure, the first and third books in the series, but the Scorch Trials, I think I struggled to imagine the setting and it just felt like a random filler-in book. So in ways, when I first watched the film, because it helped me picture the setting and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this way more than the book. You know, the first, 45 minutes to an hour, I was aware that things were different, but I'm like, oh, they're an okay kind of different though. But then the film kept going, and it also felt really long. When we talked about it afterwards, we said we think it's because it's constant big rise up to action, then a fall, and a rise up and a fall. So you just constantly you think it's an ending, and then, because it comes down again, then it spikes back up, and it was just kind of too much action and too much suspense to make it as enjoyable, because it just made it feel really dragged out. And the last hour of the film, I didn't really enjoy it as much because the plot just went off on a crazy one. I mean, it started off pretty crazy. The first half an hour when they're breaking out of Wicked is basically the Death Cure. In the Scorch Trials, they don't know they're in a trial. They have the bodies come down from the ceiling, and they think they're being protected by someone other than Wicked. They go underground in the desert, and there's weird things that kill someone, and then they go out to the desert. And whereas in this, it was they discovered it was Wicked, and then they escaped, which is more like the Death Cure. So it started off really different, but as it kept going, I was just not happy with all the changes.
I've just realised that I haven't read Scorch Trials since 2011. It's been 5 years since I read Scorch Trials. It's been about 4 since I read Death Cure. Don't really remember what happens. All I remember is the big deals. At the end of Scorch Trials, Mino in the film got taken away, and I'm just pretty sure that don't happen. Pretty sure my baby doesn't get abducted at the end of Scorch Trials.
Again, I can't remember the Scorch Trials really well, but I'm pretty sure this whole Red Arms secret organisation wasn't a thing. Teresa shouldn't have even been with the group. She should have randomly appeared and been all secret and weird and disappeared again with the girl group.
Yeah.
And they didn't even explain the girl group, and the more I talk about it, the more I don't like it. The Maze Runner film was spot on. It was so good. In the Scorch Trials film, it should have ended with the Grievers and another big thing, and then they escape in a ship with Brenda and the guy. That don't happen.
I didn't even know who the guy was.
He wasn't the guy he should have been. He was some weird black market dealer who was Brenda's dad, and it should have been someone much younger who's more her boyfriend.
I did like Brenda though.
I did like Brenda, yeah. She
I
was
really
really
like
good.
the group. I really like the group of guys. They really hold it together.
Yeah.
Tom is amazing, and I love his action bits, and I love when it was their sequence at the start when they were escaping.
Yeah.
That was the best bit because it is about those guys in the Maze Runner and how they survive. And then it all went too political. It was too much world building in a film doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. All the characters. All the actors played the characters. All the characters are just like the book. It's more they're just in the wrong place. It's all the characters are perfect and just like the book, but then it's just the plot was a bit crazy. I mean, some people see this as a positive and said they've liked the change and that it's nice that if you read the book you still don't know what's going to happen. And I'm fine with changes in films. I understand they're necessary for lots of different reasons, you're appealing to a different market, and generally how things look on screen aren't the same as when you read them. But I feel like these changes were a bit unnecessary and didn't improve the story. They just
complicated it.
Yeah,
I was like, what's going on?
I feel like they're trying to do a Hunger Games revolution thing. Like, there's this Red Arms secret organisation. They want to team up with them and rescue Mino and beat Wicked, which is like,
it's not
that
how it
does
works.
kind of happen in the end. Like, they do want to beat Wicked, but I think like they're trying to make up a big revolution thing to it that isn't there. It should just be confused boys that are lost and trying to figure things out for themselves.
Another thing I'm really worried about is that they've messed up. Well, they haven't messed up, but they've messed around with the Scorch Trials so much. What are they even going to do with the Death Cure? Like, I don't know how, like, the big reveal... Well, there's a big deal at the end of Death Cure that just breaks your heart into many, many pieces. And it relates to something that happened in the Scorch Trials where Newt is the one that shoots, like... What's his name? He gets bitten by one of the cranks and then he dies.
Frypan or Winston?
Winston.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets bitten and Newt is the one that shoots him, and that is a big foreshadowing of what happens in the Death Cure. But because Mino is the one that gets taken away, I'm worried it's going to happen to him instead. And I'm just like, why mess around with it so much?
Yeah.
Like, I love Newt and I love Mino. I don't want anything bad to happen to any of them.
Yeah.
But I just hope that they keep it, like the big deals, I hope they keep the same. Because that would be disappointing if they changed it so badly.
I feel like they also, like, the cranks were perfect. They were so scary. And I'm slightly sad they missed out that scene in the Scorch Trials where it's when Tom and Brenda are in the sewers and they hide in, like, this tiny little space. And there's a crank who's, like, not fully gone, so he can still talk and is vaguely human, but he's terrifying. That was such a scary scene reading it, and they're, like, hiding and he's sniffing them out and it's really horrible. They didn't have that in, which was disappointing. But overall, the cranks were great. They were so scary. But I don't like how they've changed around. They made them too much like zombies, because it is like a disease from the flare that, like, messes with your brain. But when
I don't think they bit people.
Yeah, they didn't bite people. It's just, like, generally in the air, and if you're immune, obviously you don't get it, and if you're not, then you do. So when Winston gets bitten and then, like, starts to turn and, like, die really quickly, it's like 12 hours or something and he's, like, dying. Spoiler, sorry. But again, like, with the Death Cure, how are they going to do that? Because there's certain big reveals in the Death Cure that relate to things to do with, like, the illness, and it's just sort of, that can't happen anymore unless they come up with a clever solution. They can't.
It'll be a solution, but it won't be clever.
Yeah, it's just like the disease doesn't work that way. You shouldn't get bitten and it affects you really quickly. It's like, it should be, you're either immune or you're not, and it's like a slow progress. That's why Brenda in the book wants to go with the guys, because they're, like, looking for... She wants to find Wicked and try and find a cure, because she's been exposed to it for so long. She's, like, slowly... It's like a good 10-year process where you slowly... It starts to affect you. It's not like a boom, you're ill. It should just be... So it just ruins a lot of that. I realised that we've really ranted during this video. There were some positives. Like we said, the first hour or so was really enjoyable. And all the actors got the characters spot on. And I always had a really weird crush on the guy. I can't remember his name in the film. He's got, like, the black leather jacket and the white roll neck. He's, like, the main baddie in the Scorch Trials. He was kind of gorgeous. And apparently he's in Game of Thrones.
He is. He's gorgeous in that too, but he's also he's creepy. He's just a creepy guy that plays creepster and everything.
Yeah, he was really good. And, yeah, the acting was good. It was the pacing just felt a bit off at the end. And it's just the plot problems. I kind of want to know the opinion of someone who's seen this film and hasn't read the book, because me and Amy and, like, other friends we went there with who have read the book, we were all just... We couldn't separate it from the book. Like, I really tried, but it just went that mad. I couldn't even think about it.
It didn't even feel like the same. It felt completely different.
Yeah.
The book doesn't seem like the Scorch Trials film. It was very strange.
I would have been okay with some of the changes, but it just, towards the end, it just changed too much and not really for the better. Like, I didn't really like the ending to the Scorch Trials. It is kind of kiddie, I suppose, but it's just the key things have changed that will ruin the third book, which I really enjoyed, that's bothering me the most.
So that's all we've really got to say about the film. We would recommend to read the book first and then see the film if you haven't done already, because the book I really enjoyed it. It's, like, one of my favourites. I think it goes, like, Scorch Trials. I don't know, actually. I really like all three. The trilogy is amazing. So let us know down below what you thought of either the book or the film, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!